did this happen? And we are here today because last year a group of us spontaneously got together. And I want to recognize some of those people. You probably all remember, and it's no embarrassment anymore to talk about it, but there were a couple of unpleasant things that happened at last year's Oscar telecast. And so individually, 2 years ago, 2016. Yeah, last year, I meant 2016 is what I meant, a year and a half ago. So a couple of us individually got very agitated, and then we found each other and we decided to do something together. And I have to say, of all the different sort of group activities I've been in, this has been one of the more effective and fast-moving ones, because what I discovered is that people like Arthur Dong, come on up here, Arthur, and Frida Mock, and Chris Tashima, and David Magdale, and is Laura Kim here? No. Is Marcus Hu here? No, unfortunately. And a couple of other key Academy members. Is there room on stage? I want you to come up because I want you to be recognized. So these veteran Academy members, some of whom have actually won Academy Awards, like Frida and like Arthur, and Chris. Nominated. Nominated. Okay, well, it's almost the same. But they understood better than someone like I did how the Academy really works, and so we all wrote a letter, and you probably heard about that letter, and then we ended up having a meeting, and what ended up being not a positive thing turned into a hugely positive thing, because first of all, we found that there were actually a fair number of us. We discovered we had over 200 members that were Asian American in the Academy, and we were able to access quite a few. And we started building this network that was incredible. And then we said, well, we want to get more involved, and you know, we can recommend new members, and we can recommend films, and we can do this, and we can do that. And so, just completely spontaneously, we became this kind of family that I didn't know existed. I've been an Academy member for a long time too, but had no idea how it worked. And thanks to the leadership, Dawn Hudson, the CEO, and incredible Lorenzo Munoz, who's in charge of membership and awards. They were so welcoming, so receptive, and so encouraging of our activities. And so here we are with just, you know, so much to celebrate. So let me give the mic to a few of you to talk about what was going on in your minds a year and a half ago.
Well, I think going forward, it's just great to see all of you here, and thank you, Janet, for really launching this, because she and the East West Bank, who are supporters as the sponsors today, have just been so generous in making this happen, so thank you. And did we introduce the new president, Joan Bailey? I came in late. Okay. Can we have... Oh, okay, John, the back of yeah.
Follow the script.
Anyway, I just want to say congratulations to all the new members and welcome aboard, and we can be friends. There are other friends beyond this Asian Academy group for sure, because we started all as members of the Academy and then discovered each other like this 2 years ago. But I'd like to say that you're going to have a wonderful ride. There are many things that go on in the Academy. You can join and be a part, you know, be members of the Foreign Language Screening Committee and Student Academy Awards. There's a lot going on, and I would encourage you to just be a part of this wonderful organization and ask questions, you know, to the leadership that is here or to any of us. So thank you, and welcome.
Well, a year and a half ago, but like Janet said, there was a little bit of bad blood happening a couple of years ago, but the good upshot was, you know, I had been in the Academy for 20 years, and we never really talked about our ethnicity. I mean, it was never a part of the conversation, really. And so it brought us together, and it gave us an opportunity to know each other. It was really, we were scrambling in the beginning, well, who else is Asian? Who else is there? What about your bench? What about your bench? And we were really quite pleasantly surprised there were so many of us. And so it's kind of like a DVD extra. We're in our branches, and we have our crafts, and we're, as members, you know, we encourage that craft, we work at that craft, but now we have this other thing, which is our identity, our ethnic identity. So it's quite a bonus. So it's really wonderful that for the second year, Janet had really put this together for us. It's a lot of work, so we really have her to thank, and our sponsors, East West Bank, for sponsoring the event. And really, having been at the Academy for about 20 years, the new leadership that have come in, really pushing for the idea of diversity is so important. And whether it's timing or foresight or whatever it was the right time. And here we are, and we're a product of that timing and that leadership. So I want to thank the Academy leadership for having that foresight and vision.
I echo all of that Arthur and Frida have said. Just a quick recap for myself. The filmmaker me found myself on stage somewhat accidentally at Useless Players in the mid-'80s. And I was woken up to the industry and how it's just really not open to everybody, and how that actually affected me growing up. And East West instilled in me this fight as an actor just to survive, but as a person for dignity reasons, you know, to fight for equality in representation on stage and on screen. Maybe about 12 years later, I was fortunate enough to win an Oscar for a film called Decency and Virtue. It was a short live-action short film, and was invited into the Academy. And I was at a town hall event at the Academy. This is maybe around 99, 2000, where I, because of this fight that I felt was needed in the industry, tried to bring the subject up at the Academy, and was immediately body slammed and told, "You're only seeing what you want to see." And so I'd faced that before, and I said, okay, they're just not ready to have this conversation yet. Another 12, 15 years later, I had been fortunate to serve on the executive committee in my branch, short films branch. And Dawn Hudson, who I knew from her work at Film Independent, I was a project involved fellow, and our then president, Hawk Koch, come to our meeting and tell the committee to diversify our membership. And I was floored. I mean, if you can imagine me having come in with this, you know, having this experience at the Academy and seeing how it's just not in everyone's, you know, foresight or vision, to have the leadership tell, and the committee responded. And this was years before #OscarsSoWhite. So I just, you know, I want to say that what Don and Cheryl Boone-Isaacs 2 years ago started was not a knee-jerk reaction to the hashtag and the criticism. This was something needed that they recognized in the industry. That what we, all of us, have been fighting for all along was not just, you know, it was not just to be nice. There was a crisis in this industry that if we don't change the way we are depicted on screen, you know, there's not going to be any relevance to those movies. The Academy took on digital years ago, seeing what it was doing to the industry, and had the foresight to say this is impacting everything. And they wanted to stay on the leading edge of that. Unfortunately, Hollywood is on the back edge of inclusion. And movies are amongst those. And we see advertising and we see TV, and we are not leading. And you know, anyone who watched the Emmys, TV is being more progressive than Hollywood. But it is just as necessary that, you know, we are present and that we are constantly pushing this, because it's not something that can be done just when you feel like it. It's a constant fight. And I appreciate the leadership that the Academy has shown in making these very bold steps, and I know other organizations have recognized that they're actually taking action. We know the Oscars are somewhat reactionary, and there's only so much the Oscar show can do. But the leadership of the Academy showing the industry this is what needs to change is remarkable, and I want to thank you for that. And I want to thank all of you for showing up, because that's all it's going to take is for us to just show up, be present. Our work will speak for ourselves. This room is amazing. I see legends in this room. This is an amazing group of talent, and this is just a fraction of our membership. So, you know, just thank you for being present. Thank you for being who you are and for the work that you're doing. And this is a great way for us to all meet each other. We do have a Twitter, and we do have a Facebook page. They're both Asians in Hollywood without the two O's, so the last letters are WD. Asians in Hollywood. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and please do be active in the Academy. There's all kinds of great ways that you can participate. I will push for one, the Student Academy Award, which is actually coming up right away. If you want to see diversity, as you know, the campuses across America and around the world include everybody. And the films are amazing. They're way better than what I do as a professional. So that's just one of many programs the Academy has going. So please be active, and thank you again for being here.
I'll be brief. I look around the room and I'm very humbled to see a lot of you come and show up and to be here as we welcome our new members and people who are like you were saying, like the legends that are here. You know, and a year and a half ago, I remember calling Frida and going like, okay, what happened there, we really can't. We have to stand up and say something. So we did. And what the outcome of all of this that came about was all of us got together, became this force. And we were together, working together with Don and with Cheryl and Lorenzo, we were able to pull this together. And I think it's a new day, I think. And for us, it's a great time for all of us to be Asian American in Hollywood. Yes, it means we have to stand up and say things, but we also have an opportunity to do that and to know that you're not the only one in the room, that you will also have other people that are going to stand behind you. And I think that's what's important, because I think so many of us in this room have been at that table where we're the only one and think, okay, should I not? And I'm hoping that just by the sheer force of us showing up today, and thank you, Janet, for bringing us all together with this, that we can empower each other. And one thing I want, what I'd like for all of us to do is that as we move along in our careers, think about who else we want to bring behind us. Someone else that we want to mentor, to bring up, so that we continue this, so that way it grows exponentially. And that's what's exciting about today. This has grown even bigger. And it's good to see, like you were saying, legends and new people. And it just makes me really excited to be part of this and be a part of the Academy too. So thank you for showing up. Thank you to East West Bank. Thank you for all of you guys for just being here. And please don't be afraid to stand up, because you've got all of us that'll support you. Thanks a lot.
And it's just one example. I mean, it seems like since last spring and to now, there's been just one series of interesting articles that have come out about our community. And of course, the sweetest one recently is that Dae Kim, who made a very elegant statement about why he was leaving his show, has now replaced Ed Skrein, I don't know how to say his name, who also withdrew from the movie. Is Daniel still here? Anyway, he just told me that he and Ed he had to leave, you know, after schedules. He and Ed got together in London, and they had a beautiful heart-to-heart talk, and they were really coming from the same place. And I was like, isn't that amazing that this all happened? And it wouldn't have happened without the support of the community and these journalists, wonderful journalists who have been reporting about this, and clearly an audience that is happy to read about this and also support, you know, our voice. So I just want to mention that, which is amazing. So I would like next to introduce the sponsor for this evening. And I may have to make room for him on stage. It's getting a little crowded, but thank you, David and Chris and Frida and Arthur. Dominic Eng, if you don't already know him or his bank, East West Bank, has probably affected your life in many ways. He is responsible for this hotel and for many restaurants you've gone to. If you've gone to the Broad Museum, or if you've gone to any of the Annenberg amazing, you know, institutions, Dominic is behind all of that. But even perhaps more relevant to your lives, he's behind billions of dollars of production funding, because East West Bank is now the single largest bank in Southern California. He's been incredibly supportive of our industry. On top of that, he's just a really cool dude. I mean, you should see him on the electric guitar. He can go at it like nobody's business. But he exemplifies so much of what we are able to do as a community. He took over this bank when it had about 600 million in assets. It sounds like a lot, but for a bank it's not. Now it's 36 billion, okay? He saw that this bank that was primarily just a savings bank for, you know, little old ladies and men who'd go in with their savings account and whatever. He had a vision. He saw that the Asian community could be a lot more empowered, and that there was going to be a lot more exchange between Asia and America, and he grew this bank beautifully. And he has been a huge supporter of so many of activities that would be important to us. I mean, if you David Chang's new restaurant, the Momofuku David Chang. But, you know, so he understands good taste. He's an incredible collector of art. He supports so many. He took me to an amazing concert that was in Pasadena. I mean, just his fingerprint is everywhere, but he is such a kind human being. He's been extremely active in philanthropy. He was the head of United Way and raised more money than any other person, not just any other Asian American. So in so many ways, he's such a vibrant part of our community. I've just watched how much he's left his imprint on the city of Los Angeles, and it's very heartwarming. And we're so pleased to have him here with us today to support this event, which he did enthusiastically. Dominic, please come up.
Well, that's very, very kind word from Janet for me. In fact, why don't you write a movie on this so that, so that we can really try to promote East West in a big way. Actually, it's very simple. I mean, the reason I'm, you know, so hosting this party today, this afternoon, is because Janet asked me to do it. You know, I just always do what Janet asked me to do. And she's always been you know, a great mentor, particularly in the entertainment industry here, because for years, you know, my 26 years, I've been dedicated on running East West Bank, and you know, day one when I walked into the bank in 1991, I said, well, we're going to change our vision of this bank, that from only serving the new immigrants, I wanted to have the bank to be the bridge between the East and the West. Because immigrants who came here not only need us, East West Bank, they can provide services and also help them to overcome language barrier and so forth. But we also need to help them to assimilate to American society. We can help the new immigrants to assimilate to American society if East West is not part of that fabric of American society. So therefore, we had to work hard to get ourselves into the mainstream, and through that, we connect them with the Asian community and so forth. And by connecting the two together, we make society a better place. And that's why I have many great associates that work with me. For years, I don't pay them much, but they still work at East West Bank because it's a great place to work. We have a great cause. And for the same token, and that's why sort of like in time, we enter into the entertainment industry also, because you know, there's no better way to impact people's belief and thinking than the images from movies and television. So if we worry about, let's say, prejudice, discrimination, and so forth, and if we wanted to have a more harmonious society, isn't a better way to just see more better scripts that can better articulate, you know, the diversity. And that's why, you know, we at East West Bank stepped up. You know, I would look at for the last several years, we probably have financed over a few $1 billion of movies and television production. You know, and many of them, by the way, you know, you look at it, is that, what does that have to do with Asian? You know, for example, you know, Orange is the New Black, you know, we finance every single season of it. You know, Hunger Game, you know, we have nothing to do with Asian. But the fact is, East West took a step to enter into the entertainment industry so that we are more relevant. As a bank, more relevant in this circle. In the meantime, we're able to help all this business from China who want to invest in US. So when Hunan came to work with Lionsgate, or Bona worked with Fox, Perfect World Pictures worked with Universal, and then Huayi with SCX, every single one of them, we East West Bank were in the middle of it and providing the financing for it. And we feel very good about doing this because in the long run, I think that the more that Asian or Asian Americans working together, collaborate in this field, we're gonna see more opportunities for the talents in the industry to rise up, you know, to the better place. And I remember 17 years ago, actually, when I was at United Way chair and raising $65 million in 9 months, I had to do it in a hurry. And one day I just kind of tired. I said, I'm going to take Sunday off. So I just went out and played golf with my good buddy, Dick Cook, was, at that time was the chairman of Disney. And Dick was telling me, he said, hey, you know what? I got a great movie coming up. You'll love it. Because I know how much you care about, you know, helping Asian American to achieve, you know, the high level in society and so forth. He said, I got this Jackie Chan's movie, Shanghai Noon. He said, I bet you this is going to be another sequel just like the Rush Hours. He was very excited about the movie, and I told Dick, I said, look, this is great. I love Jackie Chan. I love his movie. But I said, you know what? I would like to see one day. And my dream is that one day we'll see. I told him about a couple of movies that I really enjoyed. I said, well, 7 years ago, I said, back in 1993. In fact, in December of 1993, 2 movies were released right about a week apart. First one, starred by big star, movie star Julie Roberts. The second one, another big star, Tom Hanks. But the lead supporting actor, or I should say almost the second lead actor, for both movies, interesting enough, is the same actor. His name is another one of my favorites, Denzel Washington. So the first one was Pelican Brief. Second one, Philadelphia. Both came out at the same time. Same second leading actor, Denzel Washington. So in my view, you look at that movie, Pelican Brief, Denzel Washington was a journalist from Washington Post. At Philadelphia, he was a lawyer representing Tom Hanks. Neither one of them had anything to do with whether you are African American or Asian or Caucasian and so forth. It's just a great actor doing a great movie. But he was given a chance to be cast in 2 powerful movies. And that's what I shared with Dick. I said, well, someday, I don't know when, I said someday, I would love to see an Asian or Asian American taking a role like that. Not just a Kung Fu master, you know? And so we haven't seen a lot of that happening, but I do feel that the day will come. It will come sooner than you expected. I think the market is ready for it. The Academy, you know, through Don and John's future leadership, would do a great job, and I'm sure to continue to bring in more members. And East West will continue to be on the side, providing the financing support. We got a great script. We got the money. So in that standpoint, I am very optimistic that there will be one day that I will be able to go to the movie theater and watch a great movie with a great cast, and the Asian person, that being there, it just happened to be a great actor. So this is way beyond the whitewashing and stuff like that, right? So anyway, I'm excited to be here to lend my support, and then in the future, when Jenna asks me to do something, I'll come out and do something again. So anyway, it's great to see you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dominic. Dominic is jumping on a plane to Tokyo right after this. So we had this reception at this particular time, maybe not best for traffic, but we're so glad that we were able to get him. So now, last but not least, I want to invite the troika of the Academy leadership on stage, because you can come up, Lawrence, you don't have to speak, but people have to at least admire your beautiful fish necklace, which looks very Asian. So you can come up. And then John Bailey, please, the newly elected president. Our token white guy for tonight, right? John Hassan, CEO, and Lorenzo, come up just because you look lovely. And I want to give this over to you guys.
Thank you. I would also like to invite our Vice President of Awards and Events, Lois Burwell, and she just joined us. Yes, because she's a dedicated governor. That's why, and she's got also a great outfit. Thank you, thank you. And I'm here representing long-held dreams of the Academy. Certainly, as I appreciate your words, Chris, of the last several years of the Academy wanting to be relevant, wanting to be representative of our society, of wanting to tell all the stories we can possibly tell, or help support all of those stories that we can help possibly support. And that was a very
conscious effort that we began really 6 years ago. We began talking about it. We began reaching out to members and to members, friends, and other people, because we realize if you're doing business as usual, then just business as usual continues. And we had to do something to jumpstart a different kind of conversation within the Academy. All of you, Arthur, I've known Arthur and Janet and Frida for a long time. I think Chris and a lot of people here have been working on this, you know, in small ways. But we, like you said, the last couple of years we've been able to, has catapulted us into working in bigger ways. But so that's been an initiative. I'm glad you are seeing it. We want it to continue. We want you to continue reaching out to your colleagues, to people who you think would be fantastic Academy members. I appreciate. I think it was Chris asked, or someone asked you to mentor new people, to bring people up. We have a mentorship program called the Academy Gold Program that we just started this last year. We want to mentor the next group of filmmakers, but in the meantime, we also want to look around the world at terrific filmmakers who are working now, who could enrich our membership. So I'm speaking to all of you for that task to help us, help Lorenza, our membership director, me. You can speak with any of us and refer people. But so I want to tell you that is how the Academy is re-envisioning itself as an institution that is inclusive, that it is an institution that is having a real voice in our industry and in our world. So thank you for that support. New class, I want to raise your hands, all the new members. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Welcome. We are here to honor you. That's why we all came, especially to honor you. You are our future. And I know you will enrich us with your own stories, your own experiences, your own lives, and we'll be stronger for it. So thank you. Thank you for coming. And I would also like to tell you, it's been only 1 month, 5 weeks that John Bailey has been our new president. He has been a force for forward movement, like I know Lorenza and I can both speak to this, like making our heads spin. We've never seen someone make so many decisions, move it so fast, and in such a positive direction. I guess as a cinematographer, in his fantastic and diverse credits like The Big Chill, In the Line of Fire, Swimming to Cambodia, A Brief History of Time, Ordinary People. I mean, he covers the waterfront in terms of his experience. You didn't do that one?
I covered the waterfront.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't. You could sing it though. But that does not begin to tell all of his talents and his commitment to our Academy, to making it really a leading light in our community. So I want to hand this to John Bailey.
I'd just like to tell you 2 quick personal stories. Chris and I were talking before the event started out in the foyer. Mentioned the East-West Players. He told me he had been involved with East-West Players. And just the other day, I came across, I was reading about the East-West Players, and I came across a statistic, you know, it was founded by the great actor Mako in 1965 as a 99-seat equity waiver theater. And I believe it was in Studio City, pardon me? Silver Lake, yeah. And stayed, you know, as an equity waiver theater until about 95 or 98, and then moved downtown to Little Tokyo. And when I was a film student at USC in the late 60s, I used to go to East-West Players a lot. And it was at a time when the company was actually doing non-Asian themed plays. I remember seeing Garcia Lorca's La Casa de Bernardo Alba, Gogol's Inspector General, and I think Giancarlo Menotti's The Medium, which I thought were really unusual. You you know, to be done there, but there were plays I really wanted to see, and they weren't being done anywhere else in Los Angeles. And the intimacy of this little theater just struck me as and the sense of cohesion in the company and the dedication of the company was just so amazing. I stayed after one of the performances, and I actually talked to Mako very briefly, and I said, this is really interesting with all the possible Asian-themed stories you could be doing, and they were doing some. I said, why are you doing all these Western plays, all these European plays that come out of the Caucasian tradition? And he said, well, we want our actors to understand the full range of theater. He said, you ever seen an Asian American Hamlet? You know? And so I got the point right then. It's been really hard, you know, I think, and we're now starting to see the beginning of a change. It's almost as though Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders were the last to be able to get on the diversity train. You know, and I'm very pleased that you guys started to speak out when you did, because I think it started, you know, a tremendous momentum going. The other story I wanted to tell you about was in February of 1984. I went to Japan with Paul Schrader. I've been doing a number of films with him to do a film about the life and the work of the great Japanese artist, novelist, political figure Yukio Mishima. And I worked with an entire Japanese crew except for my dolly grip, who I brought from New York, because Paul and I were doing very Western kind of dollies. We weren't doing the traditional kind of long, languorous Mizoguchi type dollies, or the long, fast Kurosawa moves. And so, as the only person I had, the entire rest of the crew was Japanese. And of course, I spoke no Japanese and learned very little the entire time I was there. Our production designer was an extraordinary woman who died much too young, Eiko Ishioka. And she was a great artist. It was a time when she was not accepted, even in Japan, in her own community. A woman of her artistic breadth and international reputation, you know, not without honor in her own country, you know, the old cliche. And she was so excited to be able to do a large-scale American film, you know, because it was unlike anything she'd ever been able to do. She did these wonderful color sequences. I don't know if you know the film. Anybody here ever see Mishima? Yeah. Well, anyway, you know, it's all the novels in the film, those gorgeous, lushly colored and highly stylized sets where Eiko's work. And the black and white parts of the film, the biographical parts of the film, were done by a Japanese production designer named Kazuo Takanaka, who had worked with Kurosawa and Mizoguchi and a lot of the great Japanese directors. Anyway, it was such an incredible immersive experience for me. And the point of the story I want to tell you is one night we were shooting exteriors on a residential street in Tokyo, and the generator arrived late. The generator was backing up into position, and the street was very narrow, and there was no kind of shoulder to it. It kind of dropped off into a drainage ditch, and the driver, when he backed up the generator, the tire went off the edge and it kind of sunk up to the axle in the ditch. So Paul and I saw it happen. We ran over there looking at each other in despair. Well, it looks like we got a wrap or get a tow truck in here or something like that. The AD, the first AD, walked over and he started yelling up and down the street to everybody. And within seconds, the entire crew of 50 people, all the drivers, the grips, the electricians, makeup, hair, wardrobe, everybody surrounded this huge generator, grabbed onto it, and lifted it out of the ditch back onto the street. And that's what you guys are doing.
Okay, well, thank you for those stories. It is really just such a pleasure to have all of you here, and there's so many wonderful people that you want to talk to. Great food, by the way. There's an oyster shucker walking around. Great drinks. So let's spend the rest of this time together just chatting and eating and drinking. All right? Thank you again for coming. Nice talking to you. Thank you.